Hey everyone, it's PK here. Hope you're doing really well. I'm just here in Brisbane City. You can see King George Square behind me, just over there. I'm not often in the city because I don't work. I don't come into the city to work. But I was on jury duty this morning and I didn't get picked as a juror. So I'm in the city with about half an hour to spare, waiting for my wife to pick me up. So I thought I'd do a quick video. It kind of sucks not being picked as a juror. By the way, I was really looking forward to it. It's exactly like it is in Suits. No, just kidding, it's completely different. But I was looking forward to it. Look, I just wanted to do a video today on why it is that I chose to refund a client their money. Now, this client came to me and they had their heart set on buying positive cash flow property with short-term growth prospects in a particular part of Brisbane. Now, I know that everyone bigs up Brisbane. I know that everyone talks a lot about how Brisbane is affordable, how there's interstate migration going on from New South Wales and Melbourne and Victoria to Queensland, to Southeast Queensland, specifically Brisbane. All of that stuff, you know, I think every buyer's agent and their dog is talking about how Brisbane is the place to buy property right now. So why did I refund a client their money? Basically what this client wanted was to buy a property in the south part of Brisbane. I'm not going to mention the suburb, but I think you know what I mean if you know, or if you know that, you know, that's where a lot of positive cash flow properties are available. A specific pocket, a specific suburb that they wanted to buy in. Now what they really wanted and needed was cash flow positive property, but also something that would grow in the short term. And when I say short term, I mean 2 years. Okay, so when we'd initially started working together and when they initially signed up, I said, yeah, absolutely, I can guarantee that we can find a property together that will be cash flow positive and that will also be a really good candidate for short-term growth, right? Not just a big infrastructure play, something that will go up in 10 years time, but something that will go up in value in the first 2 years. Because in this day and age, in 2020, really to build and grow and you know, harvest a property portfolio and generate a passive income, that's really what you need. You need short-term growth repeatedly, and you need positive cash flow, otherwise the banks aren't going to lend you more money. It's not the 1990s, right? So that's what he had signed up to work with me to achieve. But what it became quite evident is that he'd been listening to a lot of podcasts, talking to many buyers agents, and he had his heart set on a place starting with L. I'm not going to mention the suburb, but I'm pretty sure you know what it is, and a specific suburb within that shire as well, that council. And look, he really just wanted to buy there, and he wanted my help to find a positive cash flow property that had short-term growth prospects, and he didn't have the appetite to do anything active, right? No subdivision or anything like that. So I came to the conclusion that I actually can't guarantee short-term growth in that part of Brisbane. I can say that we would have bought a positive cash flow property, but what he needed was short-term growth because he only had $40,000 of savings, and to grow a property portfolio, he wasn't in the luxurious position to be able to save $10,000 a month or every 2 months and to be able to afford a second property in a year's time. He really needed that first property to go up, to grow in value, so that he could extract the equity in the first 2 years and buy again. But that just isn't going to happen in the suburb that he wanted to buy in. That just wasn't going to happen in that south part of Brisbane where he was looking at. So I decided to, instead of helping him buy that property, a property in that area, it's better actually for him in the medium and long term that he doesn't work with me, and in fact, you know, he buys something else by himself, because I can't hand on my heart say that if you do buy in particular parts of that shire in South Brisbane that you will get short-term growth. I can't say that, and I don't need anyone's money just to buy a property for them. that will actually not help them or serve their purpose in growing a portfolio. So, you know, I think the key moral of the story is not how altruistic I am. That's not the moral of the story. There you go. That's the clock there. You can hear behind me. The moral of the story is before you seek professional advice, you need to become educated, right? There's no point going to an advisor. I hope you can still hear me. There's no point going to a property consultant. There's no point going to a buyer's agent, a buyer's advocate, any of these people that help you buy property. Don't go to them with a specific brief, okay? Don't just say, I want to buy in this suburb, I want a positive cash flow property. Because what will happen is that they'll just buy you that property. Now, whether it's the right property for your portfolio, whether it'll actually help you achieve your goals, that understanding only comes from education, okay? So I see this mistake being made by so many people. You know, the mantra these days is positive cash flow property. People go to a buyer's agent and say, look mate, I want a positive cash flow property, can you get me one? And then the buyer's agent simply goes down south to Brisbane and buys them a positive cash flow property. But if you ask unintelligent questions, then you'll get an unintelligent outcome, okay? But if you ask intelligent questions, you'll get intelligent outcomes, and you'll actually be able to build a portfolio that gives you passive income, not from the start only, but actually after 5, 10, 15 years, a significant amount of passive income that you can actually retire off. And if you have just listened to a few podcasts and have got it in your brain that you want a positive cash flow property, there is so much more to it than that, right? That's important, but there is so much more to it than that. So before you go to a BA or a buyer's advocate and give them a specific brief, make sure you get educated. And in fact, you can get so educated that you don't need to go to a buyer's agent at all, all right? So don't just give away your money. Don't just give away $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 asking for a positive cash flow property, because what you'll get is a positive cash flow property. But as is the case down south in Brisbane, something that will not grow in value in the short term, something that you'll be stuck with for about 5, 7 years with very little growth. And then you'll be thinking, look, it's positive cash flow. I'm getting $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per annum from it. But 7 years from now, that's all you'll be getting from it. It won't have gone up in value. You won't have been able to extract equity and go again. You won't have been able to actually achieve a passive income that gives you flexibility so you can do the things that you love with the people that you love. Okay, so that's why I refunded that client. I couldn't hand on heart say this is the right decision for him, even though that's what he wanted. Okay, but it's a bit like seeing the forest from the trees. You need to be able to do that. Don't just zone in on positive cash flow properties and hand $15,000 to a professional. So hopefully that was useful. I'm heading home pretty soon. Have a great Wednesday, guys, and I'll catch you on the rebound. Any questions, just comment below if this was useful. Give me a like or a love or a comment as well. And if you want to chat further, comment below or DM me. Catch you guys. Bye.